Parker administration. To the people of Philadelphia who are at home, who are watching us, let me start by noting that today is the 939th day. Today, Tuesday, who said woo? The 939th day today, Tuesday, July 28th of the Parker administration. So for me, this means that we are just past the 2.5-year mark of my term, and you know that comes out to exactly 939 days, and it is a significant amount of time for me to note that we've been at this job together, serving the people of Philadelphia. And I want you, as residents of this city, I want you to think about that in these 939 days, we have endured an 8-day municipal workers' strike, a pair of challenging snow and ice storms coupled with an unprecedented historic month of sub-freezing temperatures, and then, not good for a woman 54 years of age, we dealt with an epic heat wave with temperatures in the 100s, and then I want you to think about this freakish like thunderstorm that brought 70 miles per hour straight line winds into Philadelphia neighborhoods, and what they described as something I had never heard of before in my life. I'm a lifelong Philadelphian, and you know, ask me, maybe you all are smart enough to know what a microburst is, but I had never heard of a microburst before. And when we think about those straight line winds and how they went into Philly neighborhoods, those microbursts, they knocked down more than 500 trees, with some of them crashing down on homes. And don't forget that an airplane actually fell out of the sky and into a residential community in Northeast Philadelphia, causing tremendous tragedy and loss of life. That's what occurred in the Parker administration in 939 days. I shared that with you, Philadelphia, to remind you that we have weathered every one of those events, and we have not blinked once. I am enormously proud of all of the men and women and every individual who has served the Parker administration with great energy and skill, and quite frankly, dedication to our cause every day, to deliver what, and I shared this when we were on our walking tour this past weekend, I never thought that regular, everyday Philadelphia residents who are not connected to government would be able to share what our cause or mission is in this city, but the leadership and their great energy and skill, they have been at the foundation of what is allowing my administration to deliver a safer, cleaner, and greener Philadelphia with access to economic opportunity for all. And I say all of this up front because I'm going to announce several important leadership updates today, which will strengthen our administration as we continue delivering tangible results that we can see, touch, and feel for the 1.57 plus million residents of the city of Philadelphia. So it is important for me to acknowledge the real demands that public service places upon every person in the Parker administration who serves our residents every day. These are hard jobs, and yeah, very hard. I want to just note that for the record. Not for the thin-skinned, not for people who don't have extremely high EQs. IQ is important, but if you want to survive here, you better have some semblance of EQ in order to make it. But these hard jobs, they are worthy of the kind of public servants who we have had and will have to continue serving our administration. But for those who have served, I want to say that we owe them a debt of gratitude, and this is worth our public acknowledgement of their work. Please give them a super huge round of applause. Very important, very important. The first announcement that we are making today is for one of the most important leadership positions here in the city of Philadelphia, and that is the position of managing director. Philadelphia, for those of you who are watching us at home, online, you know that the managing director plays a critical role in serving the people of Philadelphia. The managing director, is essentially the chief operating officer of the government. The managing director oversees multiple departments in city government, agencies like the Office of Emergency Management, Parks and Recreation, licenses and inspections, and we've separated them. We have two parts and they manage both parts. We have the fire department, our Office of Transportation and Infrastructure, the water department, as well as the Department of Prisons. And actually the list is much longer than what you heard me just reference. So as you can imagine, it's a very large office. There are a total of 558 positions in the managing director's office alone. So that's the group of people who provide support to the chief operating officer here in the city of Philadelphia. So that's 558 positions in that office alone and 36 departments under its direction. So it takes a serious leader to lead the managing director's office, and for the past 2.5 years, we've had such a leader in Adam Thiel. Where is he? Come stand next to me, please. I remember when I first met you as a member of City Council. You were the fire commissioner for the city of Philadelphia. And we had some tough but respectful conversations, and you were always helpful to the city in the 9th District. And I can remember calling you when we realized we had made it through the fire and we were going to be here. And I called you and asked, could we meet? And I don't think you thought I was going to ask you what I asked you when I asked you to come into that office. We were at 18th Street. What was that, 18th and what, Tiffany?
1801 Market.
1801 Market Street. But that would become one of the most important decisions that I made when I was elected mayor in Philadelphia. How do you know that that was one of my most important decisions? You know, because when that plane fell out of the sky on January 31st, 2025, Chief of Staff Tiffany Thurman, Chief Deputy Mayor Vanessa Garrett Harley, Commissioner Bethel, you will remember we were all leaving a professional development sort of service we had just had with Harvard University in Bloomberg. John Fry had hosted us over at Temple when we got the call that the plane fell out the sky. Adam Thiel was at our side. And in all the days that followed, he was the person leading and helping us deal with the cleanup, the interactions with other government partners, and the communication with neighborhood residents. When we endured the municipal workers' strike, and we had mounds of trash to deal with Both of the leaders that you are going to hear me talk about helped us to get through and navigate that difficult time, with one leading and Adam Thiel as the MDO being right by my side during all of the strategic planning and thinking about how we would move forward. I want you to remember that he leaned in with me and this administration and endured and did the work needed to help keep Philadelphia safe and clean. When I took office as mayor, is Councilmember Harity here? Yep. When I took office as mayor, and I promised a new way of dealing with homelessness and substance use disorder, addiction, the fentanyl crisis on the streets of Philadelphia, I caught a whole lot of hell. People said I lacked compassion because the strategy that we had promoted had never been attempted in the city of Philadelphia. We had a containment strategy that we used, but that wasn't going to be good enough for me. I wanted us to focus on building an ecosystem that did not exist. One that, instead of centralizing containment, I wanted us to focus on long-term care, treatment, and housing. And whenever you're going to go to war with the status quo, Philadelphia, that is how we've been sharpening the pencils for the last 30 years, is the only way that we can sharpen the pencils today, you're going to get some pushback. When I made that decision, it was Adam Thiel who took the issue by the horns and led the construction of a new Riverview Wellness Village, building something new and hopeful out of an existing city-owned structure in Northeast Philadelphia. I don't know if you remember the meetings. It was, we were challenged with having a little project. It was just a special project. Councilmember Phillips and Councilmember Harity, you'll remember, they said, oh, the administration wants a blank check, as if there were no vision. And we knew exactly what we wanted to do. And then here comes an unreasonable mayor, expecting you to do what had never been done in the city of Philadelphia before, and then saying to you, you've got to do it in record time because the people of Philadelphia need to see us standing up. They're visual like me. They're tired of politicians lying to them, making promises they never follow through on. So we've got to do it so that they can see it and touch it and put it together. You did it in record time. The Riverview Wellness Village cares for 220 people right now, helping individuals find pathways to a better life. Is Director Gear here? Public Safety Director Gear? We have had academicians, historians, healthcare executives from across the country travel to Philadelphia to see what we have built that is now become a model for the nation, for how you provide a holistic way for people suffering from substance abuse, mental and behavioral health challenges, and other issues. And I will never forget you affirming when people ask me, why is she so, why is she so angst about this? Why is she so passionate about this? And when I described what it was like growing up in Northwest Philadelphia in the midst of the crack cocaine epidemic, when nobody was talking about substance use disorder and addiction as a public health crisis, nobody loved the people in my neighborhood enough. Nobody loved them enough to sit down and build a system and a process that said, if you're willing to work for it and clean up your life, help is available, and this local government is going to do it. That is what our managing director, Adam Thiel, did. Give him a round of applause. Director Thiel, I can't not think about Crystal Yates Gale. Is she here? Or I love you, baby. I love you. I'm thinking about Isabel, I'm thinking about our entire team. I want you to know I'm grateful for what you did. And I'm grateful that you had thick skin and you were able to block and dodge all the stones that, people probably wanted from me, but you took on my behalf. And so now Philadelphia, he re-enters the private sector. And I want to thank you, Director Thiel, for all of your public service to the people of Philadelphia, particularly when you were in fire and as MDO, and in your service. Let me say this out loud. And in your service here in our nation, I want you to know that I appreciate you. Thank you for loving on Philly, and we support you 1,001% in your future efforts. Please give them a round of applause. With all of that being said, I've given a great deal of thought as to whom we wanted to succeed Thiel as managing director for the city of Philadelphia. And sometimes it is very important that a national search be conducted for a position as important as this one. But when consulting with my two chief advisors, and I want to be absolutely clear, so Philadelphia, you know who anchors this administration. Those two people are my Chief of Staff, Tiffany Thurman, and Chief Deputy Mayor Vanessa Garrett Harley. Please give them a round of applause. While it's very important on some occasions that a national search be conducted, sometimes, however, the person that you want, the individual with all of the attributes the position requires, sometimes in Philadelphia, we're a tough city. We can have a star writing in front of our eyes, but we will sometimes look over who we have right here in our city. When I thought about the individual with all of the attributes the position requires, it's right here, and it was right here in front of me. Sometimes he's already on your team and already leading a critical portion of your agenda. And this is one of those times. Even when you haven't seen him in front of the camera, rest assured, whenever we've had a crisis of any kind in this city, he has been on my speed dial. No matter who's been leading, I've always called him for his counsel. And so after much thoughtful deliberation, I want you to know, Philadelphia, I am proud to appoint Carlton Williams to the position of Managing Director for the City of Philadelphia. I want you to know that for the last 2.5 years, 939 days, Carlton Williams has served as the first director, because the office didn't exist before I arrived. But remember the commitment: safe, clean, green, with economic opportunity for all. And then you become the mayor and you say, all right, I made the promise, how am I gonna make it a reality? And then that's how we created the office of clean and green. Under Carlton's watch, and through his close collaboration with another amazing leader who I am super proud of, our Sanitation Commissioner, Crystal Jacob Shipman. Give her a round of applause. Here is what Clean and Green has achieved. And I want you to know this, because a true indicator of future behavior is past behavior. So listen, under his leadership, and these stats are important, We have cleaned over 191,000 city blocks and neighborhood corridors, some of them more than once through our One Philly United citywide cleaning program. And it's 191,469 blocks to be precise. That's what Carlton Williams did. I didn't do that. Carlton Williams did that, okay? Listening to you from the ground up, and Councilmember Phillips and Harry, you heard about this and the need for this. People have asked for it. We have instituted a twice-a-week trash collection in certain neighborhoods in the city of Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, portions of Center City. If Council President Kenyatta Johnson were here, he was saying don't forget about South Philadelphia, and more are on the way. But twice-a-week trash collection in the city of Philadelphia established by Carlton Williams. Give him another round of applause for that. The data points are important. We have also expanded neighborhood cleaning efforts and installed. Now, Councilmember Phillips and Councilmember Harity, I can remember the first budget address to council. I wish they could all go as smooth as the first one did. But this is the one where we had rolled out, instituting our efforts in installing district cleaning crews in all 10 council districts. Philadelphia, what did that mean? Not who traditionally comes to pick up your trash or your recycling, but a specific residential street cleaning team prescribed to your particular council district. And so they would be responsible for working on commercial quarters and residential blocks and making that happen. And all of that occurred under Director Williams' leadership, where he has also seen to it that the city of Philadelphia cleaned tons of trash and debris from illegal dumping sites around Philadelphia through our United City Illegal Dumping Task Force. And for the first time in the city of Philadelphia, we have GIS'd where those dumping sites are, so that the people of Philadelphia, the community leaders, organizational leaders, they will know where those sites are, and all of that was done through Director Williams. Give him another round of applause for that. Next, and I thought it was me, but I said, wow, I don't know anybody who comes under more fire. I said, to me, yeah, because Carlton Williams, they're coming after you in every way they possibly can. When we talked about creating a clean and green cabinet, Philadelphia, you don't know how easy it is for people who've never walked a mile in your shoes. They've never organized anything. They've never led anything big, but they want to give you instruction on how you can get it done. You put together, and this is one of the things that I'm probably most proud of with you. You created a clean and green cabinet composed of city leaders, community leaders, and neighborhood advocates. You built it from the ground up, so nobody's sitting in an office trying to tell the people in our neighborhoods what's best for them, but we're taking their recommendations and making sure that we implement and operationalize them. And I am really, really proud of that one. I am proud of that, because everybody's voice matters. All told, because somewhere, somehow, somebody is now keeping score. And if you're keeping score, I want you to know that through all of these and many other efforts under Director Williams's and Commissioner Shipman's watch, our administration has delivered nearly 300,000 quality of life services for Philadelphia residents since we took office. And leadership matters when you are trying to implement that kind of aggressive agenda. And that's not all he has done for our city. If he had just done that, that would have been amazing. But when Philadelphia was struck with 2 major snow and ice storms this past winter, storms that were coupled with the coldest 17-day stretch in the city since 1989. I asked Director Williams to lead our storm fighting efforts citywide. I did it because I knew he had the experience, the judgment, and the leadership ability to take on the challenge, and that's exactly what he did. We cleaned up from those snow and ice storms, and rest assured, it was unprecedented. It was not easy, but he led the effort to keep Philadelphia safe and functioning. Please give him a round of applause. I'm traumatized. I'm still triggered if you say ice. And then last summer, I never saw this one coming, but when our city endured an 8-day municipal workers' strike and trash piled up in neighborhoods, if Mommy was here, she would say, well, cream always rises to the top. And when you are in the foxhole, in the midst of the struggle, I'm never paying attention. I shouldn't even be talking about my formula, but I'm never really paying attention to who's jumping up and down and right there being seen when things are good. I've never been impressed by that. Maybe that's a Dorothy Parker, Marion Tasco thing, but you'll never impress me by being there when things are all right. But I do watch how people perform when you're in the middle of crisis, when you're in a firestorm, when you have to make tough decisions, and you need people who are cool and who are level-headed and who are going to analyze the data and make data-driven, value-based decisions. That's exactly what he did. And how do you know? Because it was Carlton Williams who was immersed every day in helping to lead our efforts to collect residents' trash from 65 neighborhood drop-off locations. He was the one who made sure that we disposed of it safely and that we did everything that we possibly could to keep our city clean until we were able to work with our municipal unions to negotiate an end to the strike. He was the person who also supported us at the table. He worked in partnership with Deputy Mayor, then Deputy Mayor Sincere Harris, and our entire labor team, along with our law department, to help us get to a new contract that ensured, not in word, but in deed and on paper and in the package, that we sent a message that we value our sanitation workforce and that we wanted them back. Give Director Williams a round of applause for that. You can't make this up, right? If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. Earlier this year, and Jane Golden, you need to come up here with us for this one, Jane Golden. I need you standing right up here with Councilmember Phillips on this one. People have been talking about 2026 activities. And for those of you who remember, I was sworn in January of 2024. The council president became the president in 2024. And one of the first questions, Tiffany and Vanessa, I don't know if you remember this, and Giselle Jones in particular, was the city of Philadelphia lacks leadership and vision, and they're going to miss the mark on this historic year in the city of Philadelphia as the birthplace of democracy. And Joe Grace knew I was bubbling with frustration. And I said, well, I just got here in January. It's okay. Just go call Rob DeBoe. Go call Rob DeBoe and Sabrina Maynard, our finance director and our budget director, and tell me what's been budgeted to make sure the city of Philadelphia is prepared to celebrate 250 years. And I think I called the council president on the telephone afterwards. And I said, Mr. President, we've got a challenge. And what is that, Mayor? We are supposed to be prepared for 2026, and I just checked to see what's in the budget, and the appropriation was what, Managing Director Thiel? Zero. We knew we needed to be prepared. So as we were preparing for the semi-quincentennial that we've been celebrating, and I think doing an amazing job with operationalizing all of the activities, one of the things that we knew we needed to do was to clean up and beautify our neighborhood commercial corridors as well as the high travel areas along our highways. And now there's somebody saying, well, cleaning highways, why is that something important? I'm sorry, I digress. Travel down 95, 76, going south. I can't make this up. And look at what you see on the side. Casey's looking at me like, tell him, Mayor. And you'll see the trash, and you see the weeds, and nothing looks managed and or together. And then you keep going, and then you travel through counties that are right outside of Philadelphia, and you do see more of the same. But then all of a sudden, you get to a sign, if you drive a little further, that says, "Welcome to Delaware." And when you see that sign, guess what else you see? Well-maintained shrubbery. You see a clean highway so that when you are driving through, you get a signal that in Delaware, clean and green and it being aesthetically appealing, it is something that matters to them and they value you. So I had this idea that I wanted to see us do something to clean up our highways. And I remember the meeting. I don't know if you remember the meeting. We knew that we had to get prepared, and thanks to Director Williams' efforts, with an $8 million appropriation that in no way, shape, or form affirmed what we really needed, he made sure that our Gateways to Philadelphia Beautification Initiative took place. We made sure we cleaned up 7 corridors and multiple locations. He made sure that he worked with all of our partners. I called Jane Golden up because Jane, I didn't believe it when they said it, but they told me the mural that you all put up and all of that painting, they told me that hadn't been done for 30 years in the city of Philadelphia. None of that happens without a leader who brings multiple stakeholders to the table. Not everybody functioning in individual silos, but you have to have CLIP, you had to have mural arts, you had to have streets, every department that you could think of, you have to have the convening power and respect of those leaders. Listen to Commissioner Bethel. To bring people together, to make them want to be a part of a process. And that can only occur when your name is such that your name goes in the room before you do. And when your credibility and your character and your work speaks for itself, people are willing partners with you at the table. And you can't fake that. You can't put that on. You either have that or you don't. And you will know by the response that people give to you. You get the point. In Carlton Williams, I want you to know that we have a trusted, a tested, and experienced city leader who's already doing the work and excelling at it. And the warm handoff between the subject matter expertise of our managing director and former fire commissioner Thiel and Director Williams, Philadelphia, I want you to know we are in good hands, and this administration, the Parker administration in our city, we will not miss a beat. Give a round of applause to Carlton Williams. Where's 2? Is 2 here? Where's 2? 2? We're going to, and I know he doesn't notice he's coming. It's a whole lot going on right now. Philadelphia, when I realized that we won the general election and that I would become mayor of the city, I instituted a hiring process that had not been ever formalized in the city of Philadelphia. When it came to important decisions like the police commissioner, the Office of Public Safety, the city solicitor, the managing director, I remember saying, well, these people can interview with me and tell me anything because I've never been the police commissioner or the MDO. So once we got through the meetings with my executive team, I put together a team of the subject matter experts who had served in those positions prior to us making our decisions. And this gentleman who I am calling up, our former MDO, for those of you who know me, if you know, We have been in each other's ecosystem. When I was the staff person, where is he? When I was the staff person with councilperson Marion Tasco, but I watched him lead this city under multiple administrations with strong understanding of the importance of and the value of intergovernmental cooperation and planning, and the relationships, the trust that is needed to get other people to respond to your call when you pick up the phone. That's my friend and our former managing director, Tumar Alexander. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As the mayor said, there's not a whole lot more to say. Her statement, and it stuck with me, your name entered the room before you do, right? And that's so true about our incoming managing director, Carlton Williams. Could you all give him another round of applause, please? So I'm happy to be here talking about Carlton, happy to be here wishing Adam congratulations on his future endeavors. I'm also joined by former managing director, Mr. Phil Goldsmith, over there. You know, I like to think Carlton is coming into this unique fraternity of city leaders who are tasked with managing and convening leaders, right? Convening leaders that you see behind me and around this room, and implementing the mayor's vision and doing it in a way that we are listening to citizens, we're making the citizens proud about the work that's being done in city government. Carlton is ready, he's prepared. I have the unique ability to be able to stand here and talk today because I've worked alongside Carlton, coming into government as a fresh-faced young kid, not knowing what the heck I was doing, but learning. I've had the opportunity to then supervise Carlton and Adam in an administration when we all rolled up our sleeves and tried to do the best we can each and every day to serve our citizens. And that's what this job is about. I do want to say to Carlton's family, I just met Mom and Dad over there. His wife, who I know and feel like we're a part of a family, thank you for the sacrifice that he has made, and thank you for the sacrifice he's going to make in this job. And it's going to be super important that you all are there, helping him, help lead him, helping just comfort him and have his back as he's dealing with everything he's going to deal with in his job. And not only to support a family, but also to support friends and colleagues. And I'm just so happy to be here and be at this announcement. As the mayor said, sometimes when you have an opening, you could go looking all over the world, but don't forget that star that's in your backyard who is ready, prepared, and it's his time. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Tumar. I now want to bring up the man of the hour, Director Carlton Williams.
Thank you so much.
Now, Mrs. Oak Lane Wildcats can't suffer. We got to find a way to hold it all together. LaVan, you got work to do.
Good afternoon, friends, family. First of all, let me say this. I'm truly honored to be selected as the next managing director for the city of Philadelphia. You know, me and the mayor started off our day pretty exciting. We was at the Horticulture Center, and we watched 142 people graduate from a program 9 months in. And we was talking about some of the things and challenges that they faced. We had people with perfect attendance in that program, and ultimately we saw them grow from not knowing what they wanted to do to where they wanted to go. That was me. That same room felt surreal to me. I started my career as a park ranger right in that very building as a horticulture center, and not knowing what doors and what openings. And I was telling them, you never know what opportunities that may exist. I'm sitting there thinking I was talking about myself, because had I not taken that first step, and my mom and dad, who encouraged me in more ways than one to take that position, I would not be standing here today. And so I just wanted to first of all acknowledge that that is important that we continue to open up opportunities for people to see themselves as successful because it happened to me. I'm gonna ask you to bear with me a moment because there's a lot of thanks that I gotta do, and I have to do this. First of all, I want to thank God, because if it wasn't for God, I would not be here today. He continues to order my steps, and I continue to put my faith in the Lord in everything that I do. And I thank God for everything, all of the blessings, my family, my career, and the people that I work with, so I want to thank God. I want to thank the Honorable Mayor Cherelle Parker. I've known Mayor Parker in a professional capacity for over 26 years. And the first time I seen Mayor Parker in action was about 20 years ago in a little place called a town hall meeting. We all know about those town hall meetings. Mayor Parker didn't start that town hall meeting concept when she became mayor. She's been doing this all of her life. One of the things that impressed me the most about those town hall meetings that she had every department there. And after she gave passionate comments about the legislation she was working on, I believe at the time it was, payday lending, the loan programs where they were trying to rip people off with high interest rates. So after she was saying that, she stayed, and it was a room packed like this, and she stayed until every question got answered. And not only every question got answered, she connected that person with the service that they needed to get the job done. That is true leadership. At that point, I picked up the phone and called my friend, LeVan, who's here today. And you'll never hear me say this ever again publicly, but I said, hey, Cherelle, because I never called her Cherelle, she's Mayor Parker to me. But I said, Cherelle is going to be mayor one day. And I told LeVan that, and we walked out of the room. She said, how do you know? I said, I just witnessed how she interacted, how she carried the room, how she connected with the residents, how she was so concerned about making sure that every resident got the question that they had and the answer that they needed. That's true leadership, and she hasn't changed one bit. We was just out this last week, and after all of the American 250 celebrations, who did an excellent job, Chief, Deputy Mayor Vanessa Carol Harley, Chief of Staff, Tiffany Thurman, I see Dr. Giselle Jones and Commissioner Bethel and Susan Slauson. After all of that, we got hit with the microbursts, things that we've never experienced before. And when those issues came up and we found out about the number of trees that fall in the floods that was happening at 58th and Lebanon, Mayor Parker sprang right into action just as she did 20 years ago and met out at that site and made sure we visited every location, reassuring the residents that the government was here to work for them and that we would not leave them behind. That is true leadership. That is why I'm honored to accept this position as managing director, because you just don't take these jobs because of the glamour. You take the jobs because you believe that you can make a change. And you got to make a difference because you have to have a leader in Mayor Cherelle Parker that you got to believe in. And I believe in her vision of making Philadelphia the safest, cleanest, greenest, big city in the nation with access to economic opportunity for all. Please give our mayor a big round of applause. In creating a government that she can see, touch, and feel. We was out this past weekend, and sometimes it's not always pretty. People sometimes complain about the conditions that they live in, and rightfully so. They expect government to step up and take on the challenge to help them do something. And that's exactly what our managing director's office has done, and that's exactly what our managing director's office will continue to do. I certainly want to acknowledge my predecessors, Phil Goldsmith, Tumar Alexander, and Adam Thiel. I take a piece of each of everything that I've learned from you and watched from you, whether it be the things that you've done and the conversations that we had about snowfill and, how could we make government work better. Tumar, we survived the pandemic with that summer, the most challenging summer of our careers. And Adam, we worked together throughout your days as a fire commissioner and ultimately your days as a managing director that you supported. I take all of those things with me as I take on this new administrative position in the managing director's office, and I thank you for that. It takes a village. And my village is here with me today. I want to start off by acknowledging my lovely wife, Melissa, who's been with me through thick and thin. She's a school teacher for the Philadelphia School District, and she hasn't seen me at my best and seen me at my worst, but she's always been my rock and my foundation, and I want to thank you so much. I love you. And all of my family couldn't be here tonight, but my two youngest children are here with me today. They're sitting in the back trying to hide, but I won't let you. I won't let you. Carlton Williams, Jr., who's an outstanding student athlete at Archbishop Ryan High School. You know he wasn't a Sixers fan until last week until LeBron James. I just want to know people know he's now a Sixers fan. Welcome to the team. And my beautiful daughter, Cameron, I can't say enough. She's a straight A student at Engineering and Science School here in Philadelphia. This is generations of Philadelphians that have born and been raised in this great city, and I'm so excited to have that. The next two people, I'm gonna get a little emotional on, but rightfully so. I'm blessed. I'm blessed enough to have my mother and father still with me today. When people ask me where you get your ethic of service, your public service responsibility, I tell them I get it from my father, who was a retired Army veteran who worked at the Department of Veterans Affairs for over 25 years, making sure our rightfully so veterans got their benefits, working right at 5,000 Wissahickon Avenue. And it was my dad who brought the application home and made sure that I completed it to get into the Ranger program. But there's an other half to that, and that's my mother. Let me say this, Mom, I watched you work hard all your life to make sure that you paved the way for me, and I didn't forget, and I'll never forget. I want to tell you that in front of that publicly because I love you. And she too played an intricate role in my development into the Park Ranger program. You know, after I filled out the application and completed it, and just like any other 18, 19-year-old, 17, I knew everything. And so I told my mom that I wasn't going to take the SAT because I had a trip paid for to go to Atlantic City that day. And my mom gave me some encouraging words that only a mother can give. She said, if you don't take that test, you're getting out of my house. I mean it, and she let me have it, but it is that love, that tough love, that made me the man I am today, Mom, and I want to thank you for that. I really do love you. I really do. When I look at this job, I think of the challenges and responsibilities ahead, but I'm not afraid. You know why? Because I got the best team standing up here that this country has ever seen, this world has ever seen. They are so talented, from the police commissioner, who's my friend Kevin Bethel, to the chief of staff and administration, to every agency and city department. I know they have my thorough support, and I know I have theirs. We are going to continue moving this city forward under the leadership and direction of our mayor, and I'm so excited to work for her under these terms and conditions as the new managing director. I also want to let you know and leave you with this. I look at things and people wonder, you know, how do you manage the things that you do in your career? I wake up every day thinking one thing: who can I help today? That's right. I make sure that no matter who you are or where you live and what neighborhood you're from, people can see me on the street and ask me, can you help me? I give them my card and tell them, call me, I'll see what I can do. I never overcommit, but I don't want to underdeliver. I make sure that I try to get back to people. I understand because I look at things through the eyes of everyday citizens. I want to make sure that they have clean streets, that they have roadways that's repaired, that they have vacant lots that are clean. All of those things that are equally important to living in this city, I want to make it great. I want to work with Mayor Parker to continue her vision for a safer, cleaner, greener Philadelphia, and we will get that done together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Director Williams. Wow, wow, wow. Now, the second announcement that I'm making today concerns a change in leadership at our superb law department. And the law department is not usually a sexy office here in the city of Philadelphia. It's not one that when people think about how we move the city of Philadelphia forward, the law department is not the department that's at the top of that list. But like the managing director's office, the law department is a critical agency in city government. And for those of you who have been watching in your own right, the challenges that we have had to navigate as a city in such a time as this, you've learned how important the law department is. The solicitor who leads the law department is in essence the chief attorney for the city of Philadelphia. The solicitor represents the city's legal interests in a wide range of matters, like from civil lawsuits to interactions with the federal and state governments and many other governmental units on so many different issues. For me, I want you to know that the solicitor provides legal advice to the mayor on many of these important issues and cases. Think, local, state, federal government, civil lawsuits, and other issues. And for the past 2.5 years, 939 days, from day one of our administration, our city solicitor has been a dynamic lady who could not be here with us today because she's done something that she hasn't done in a super long time, and we said, just do it. She had a nerve to take a vacation. 939 days, we think that she deserves it, but I am referencing our city solicitor, Renee Garcia. Give her a round of applause. Yes. I could not be prouder of the work that Renee has done for the Parker administration. And again, for the benefit of you at home who's watching on television or either online, here are just a few of Renee's many legal accomplishments at the law department under her watch. So first, leading Philadelphia's lawsuit against firearm manufacturers and distributors, alleging reckless business practices that have contributed to gun violence in our city. Now, if you're not a non-lawyer like me and we're residents of the city of Philadelphia, you're saying, of course, right? Well, we can't just say that. We have to prove that in a court of law. And I want to credit Renee with help in her department of amazing lawyers and staff who make up the law department for helping to secure more than $200 million for the city of Philadelphia through litigation against opioid manufacturers and distributors and fighting for us in our battle with gun violence. Give her a round of applause there. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Renee. In addition to that, this case that I'm about to reference, Sam and Megan, you notice has gotten some undue attention across the country and quite frankly the world, especially this year during 2026. It was our city solicitor, Renee Garcia, and our amazing team of leaders in the law department who even right now, because I can't say it's over because we're still in the midst of the fight, but they are leading our historic case against the U.S. Department of Interior over the federal government's decision to remove panels at the President's House exhibit. And these are panels that tell the powerful story of 9 enslaved Africans who lived and worked in President George Washington's executive residence here in Philadelphia. And as a matter of personal privilege, I can't talk about this history without recognizing that we have a trailblazing, history-making spiritual leader who leads one of the most historic places of worship in the city of Philadelphia, Pastor Cavernous from Mother Bethel. Please stand, ma'am, and please be recognized. Can't mention the president's house and not think about you and Mother Bethel. And so it has been Renee Garcia who and her team leading our efforts to continue our fight to tell the whole truth about slavery's existence in Philadelphia at the time of American democracy's founding. And you know exactly what we said at this microphone and on social media and in any interviews. We are never giving up on that fight. It has been Renee and the law department who have been the leaders in the ongoing effort for us to continue that battle. And I want to thank them all, and I want to thank Renee, and I want you to know that I am grateful. Megan and Sam, please raise your hands just so people know who you are. Raise your hands, please. A round of applause. It's also not a secret that these are challenging times for cities and states as we all have to interact with the federal government. On any given day, you're never going to see it, but behind the scenes, I want you to know that on any given day, we can never be sure if we're going to face a legal filing, a summons, or a subpoena out of Washington on a range of different issues. The law department and Renee Garcia have been Philadelphia's front-line defense on many of these issues, and they have done an excellent job, and I am grateful for their constant effort. So while, I know that Solicitor Renee Garcia is returning to the private sector, that is going to be much like MDO Thiel will be shifting back to the private sector. I could not, as mayor, be more proud and more supportive of her next steps in her impressive legal career. Renee, I hope that you have us up somewhere on the phone just for a few minutes on your vacation with the family. I want you to know that I appreciate you, I value you, and I want you to remember what Aunt Brenda said about you when we were in the midst of some battle, and we had to do a major press conference, and Renee spoke here. And Megan and Sam and Vanessa, Aunt Brenda said, "Who's that little Spitfire? She's tough. She's a tough one." She is a tough lady. Give Renee Garcia a round of applause. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. Now, I'm pretty giddy, but I'm going to contain myself. Let's talk about our incoming solicitor for the city of Philadelphia. You just heard me reference some of the interesting challenges that the city of Philadelphia has faced in terms of dealing with the federal government for the last year and a half. We're always, on notice, and we have to be ready and prepared. Well, what if we announced that the attorney who will become our next city solicitor is someone who is steeped in legal experience with a number of federal agencies? What if that attorney was someone who most recently served with the United States Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania? What if that attorney was someone who, prior to that public service, was the regional counsel to the General Services Administration? And what if that attorney, who prior to that federal post served as regional counsel to the Federal Transit Administration? What if she were someone who began her legal career as a trial lawyer with the Department of the Navy and the Office of General Counsel in Washington, D.C., and later worked as an associate at a global defense law firm and also a national class action law firm located right here in the city of Philadelphia. And if that's not enough for you, what if that attorney, what if she also clerked for U.S. District Court Judge Cynthia M. Ruth? Let me just say that name for you one more time for those of you who are paying attention. If you know, you know. If you haven't, go Google that name. U.S. District Court Judge Cynthia M. Ruth, right here in the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. And finally, for good measure, what if that attorney also had served as an adjunct professor of law at 2 local law schools here in our city? That's at John Fry is Happy, Temple University's James E. Beasley School of Law, and at Drexel University's Thomas R. Klein School of Law. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me sometimes get a little frustrated, Philadelphia, when people often refer to women being appointed to roles of this kind of significance. And they say out loud that this person happens to be a woman. Or maybe I'm ultra sensitive as a black woman because I've had to live at the intersection of race and gender my entire life. When people affirm that I am a black woman before they affirm that I am mayor, it is almost as if they are intimating that I arrived because of my sex and my gender. I am here because I have had to prove proficiency at every level of my career. And any black woman who I know of who's ever had access to an opportunity to lead, you don't arrive because you are a black woman. You arrive in spite of the fact that you are a black woman. I in no way, shape, or form want to intimate to you that I am suggesting in any way, shape, or form that you try to avoid the fact that you are your race and your gender. Embrace it in every way you possibly can. But I want the people of this city to know that my decision making about her being here today and leading this city in such an important way is based on the skill set, the academic prowess and preparation, your institutional knowledge, and the fact that when you say your name in the legal community, your character, your reputation, and your experience, they walked in the room before I ever met with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce that Monique Galloway as the next city solicitor for the city of Philadelphia. Okay. Well, she can come up, but not speak yet. Come up and don't speak yet. Now, I wanted to come up, but not talk yet. Now, Philadelphia, you heard me affirm before that's a standard operating procedure in the Parker administration. I can't tell you how other administrations do it, but this is what we've established when I arrived, that we have a panel of subject matter experts who interview these candidates before a selection, like the final 2, before they're put in front of me. This panel of subject matter experts, they also interview and walk through that process. And so it's with that in mind that, one, I want to acknowledge former city solicitors who are here, and I'm going to ask them to please come forward. I'm going to call former city solicitor Sozi Talante, who served for 2 years as our city's top lawyer under Mayor Kenny, and now practices law at the Deckard firm. But also 2 people who I think I bugged them all to death when they were here. But I have a great deal of respect and admiration for them in their roles, because the city solicitor, I'm talking about from the time I was a staffer here with Marion Tasco, it's a fine line. You represent the legislative branch. You also represent the administration, and just doing it with honor and integrity. I want to say to Marcel Pratt and my Diana Cortez, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Please come on over here. Please come on over. They are subject matter experts, and I will never make a legal decision without Sozy, Marcel, and former Solicitor Cortez here with us. So Sozy Talante, thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Good afternoon. I'm Sozy Talante. I'm a partner at Deckard. I want to start by asking if we can give a round of applause to Renee Garcia. Mark, this feels almost exciting as when LeBron James joined the Sixers last week. My son dared me to say that. But in all seriousness, it's a real honor to tell you about my good friend, Monique Galloway. She takes her talents to the city of Philadelphia. Before I say anything else, there are two foundational things to know about Monique. It's the two most important jobs she has, and that is as a wife to Ade, and then as a mother to Ethan and Ian. And that, by far, the mayor mentioned sacrifices. Y'all better get ready to sacrifice when Monique takes on the role. I won't go through a resume. You can look that up on LinkedIn, but I do want to highlight a few things that the mayor has mentioned about how I know Monique over the last 10 years. First, she's a true Renaissance lawyer. Just look at what she's done. She's worked for a federal judge, worked in big law, represented working people in class actions, led big legal offices, and counseled senior officials, the federal government, taught at 2 of our local law schools, and for the last nearly 3 years, she's worked in the civil division for a federal government here in Philadelphia. That range of job is exactly what makes her so suited to the job, which in my estimation, Diana and Marcel will agree, is the toughest legal job in the city. And she can do it at the highest level. And Madam Mayor, before I go on, you say this ain't the sexiest job in the world? I mean, we were listening, you know. This is the kind of job, we try to make it sexy, right? But second, to know Monique is to know she has the highest integrity, and she's a person of faith. And I don't mean just because she served on the State Ethics Commission. It's that she will always do the right thing every single second of every day and serve the city's interests. And third, she has always worked hard, and she'll bring that same grind to this job every day. For the folks in the law department who are sitting here, I promise you, you'll have a great leader, one who pours everything into you and make the department better. If you put those three things together, you stitch them, and you have before you, ladies and gentlemen, a phenomenal woman, to echo Maya Angelou, stepping into a phenomenal role. Monique, I am proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. But really, I'm actually happier for Mayor Parker, Council President Johnson, and the rest of council, and your future clients in the city, and especially the residents of Philadelphia. They are blessed to have you in this role. Congratulations.
Amazing.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor Parker, I am so honored for this opportunity to serve Philadelphia in this very unique and special way. And I am moved by this moment because it's bigger than just for me, it's also for my family, and I'll talk to everyone about that in just a little bit. But I want to say, Madam Mayor, I am honored to be the next city solicitor. Thank you for the opportunity. Sozy Talante, He told me he was going to reference LeBron James. Now this gentleman is going to be somewhere looking for me at the 76ers. So thank you for that. And thank you for your words. I've known Sosi for a long while, and so having someone who has not only sat in this seat, but had an opportunity to serve Philadelphia both in private and public sector and be my friend and my support in this moment means a great deal. So I'm new to the halls and walls of City Hall, but I am not new to public service, and you had that. You heard that. I want to tell you a little bit about me from my perspective. So integrity, these are not just words. Integrity, sound judgment, excellence, and a keen focus on public service are who I am, and they anchor me through everything that I do, and I will carry those as guides in this role as city solicitor. You see, I believe that a government lawyer has a special responsibility. All lawyers are expected to advise their clients well, give them good advice, make sure that they are protected, that their interests are protected. But a government lawyer has to do that plus some. The plus some is making sure that the law is upheld, making sure that public trust is maintained, and doing the right thing every time for the right reason. When I look at the city of Philadelphia, I see a strong, resilient city, full of people who are extraordinary, full of institutions that are second to none. The law department is an anchor to that strength. For all of the paraprofessionals, the attorneys, this amazing executive team here standing with me, I cannot wait to serve with you. If anyone else is in the room who is a part of the law department, would you mind standing with me for just a moment? I say to you that I cannot wait to meet with you as groups and one-on-one, every single one of you, and I know how many of you there are, so that's no small feat. But I look forward to meeting with you, to hear from you, to know what's working well and how I can support you in your roles. This department shows up every day to stand with Philadelphia, to make sure that the city's legal interests are protected at every turn. That is unwavering dedication to the city of Philadelphia. And nothing will stand in the way of the work that you do, and I will be glad to stand with you and support it. Throughout my career, I have learned a thing or two, both as a trusted advisor and also as a trial attorney. And all those things I've learned have been to better serve my client. Know the law, know the facts, know what's at stake, know what the stakes are, anticipate what comes next, and be prepared to act. Sometimes the best strategy is keenly observing the legal landscape, and when the moment calls for action, you affirmatively act with resolve, with strategy, with purpose. I'll say that again. When the moment comes for action, you act affirmatively, with resolve, with purpose, with strategy. That is what we will do as a law department. City Council, I know you're here. I saw a councilman earlier. They're here somewhere. I cannot wait, and commissioners as well, and all city leaders across the government, I cannot wait to meet with you one-on-one, hear up close and personal some of your initiatives for the city and how the law department can help you meet those goals. I believe public service is a public trust, and the law department, all of its fine lawyers, is a key component and key steward of that trust. Before I close, I have to acknowledge my family. I wanted them to stand early. I tried to give them the up, but they didn't listen. So I mentioned earlier that this moment means more to me than just for my family who's here, but also for my family who has tried somehow to get on through Facebook or some other means to watch this very moment. They're as far as overseas, as close as DC, Baltimore, Texas, Florida. And they're all standing with you, Philadelphia, in this moment as you stand with me. My husband, Ade Galloway, would you please stand? We joke at home that I would not be able to have a career in public service if it weren't for this man. So he's already made sacrifices. He's used to making sacrifices. And so I love you, and I would not be able to do this without you. My boys, Ethan and Ian, stand please. You've heard about my career, you know it, you've lived it with me, but this is more than just, I know to both of you, just your mom getting a new job. This is about us doing something special for the city of Philadelphia. And so I'm so grateful that you are here with me. You are my heart's treasure, and thank you for being supportive of me on this journey. I love you both. But I want to tell you more specifically about why this opportunity, Madam Mayor, means so much to my family. So Ade and I came here in 2006 and 2009 for career opportunities. That is what brought us to Philadelphia. But it was shortly thereafter. Ade was a young associate at a firm. I went to clerk for Judge Ruth. And it was shortly thereafter our son was born. So we did find some way to have a good time in there. And we decided to call Philadelphia home. Since that time, we have worked in and around the city. We have served in and around the city. So I want to acknowledge my barristers family, my Jack and Jill family. If you are in either of those groups, please stand with me. We have worshiped here. Reverend Kavanaugh, please stand. Mother Bethel is where both of my boys were christened. That is an integral part of our family. And so I'm so happy that you were able to be here with me today. I also have worked all in around the city in both private and public sectors, you heard. And so if you have been a colleague of mine in the past, would you please stand with me too? And I appreciate your support. Madam Mayor, I am honored to join your administration. Your cabinet is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I am ready to get to work and work for you, City of Philadelphia. Thank you.
Okay, all right, I gotta get through it. Where are we? Okay, all right. Law department, okay. We did that. All right. So we have two more leadership announcements to make today. And as we develop and we implement some of the major initiatives of the Parker administration, I don't care whether or not we're talking about our $2 billion home initiative to build, restore, and repair 30,000 units of housing. I don't care if we're talking about our Riverview Wellness Village that I mentioned earlier. That's our efforts to create 1,000 new shelter beds and our plan to end street homelessness in the city. We know something else. We know that government cannot do this work alone. We need partners at the state and federal levels, and we absolutely need partners in our philanthropic and business community. That is where Patricia Trish Wellenbach comes in. Trish joined the Parker administration as Chief Strategy and Partnership Officer in March of 2025. Her duties include developing those partnerships in the philanthropic community to help move Philadelphia forward with large-scale programs, partnerships, and engagements. I want you to know, Philadelphia, that she is doing an amazing job, so amazing that she has been elevated to the post of Deputy Mayor for Strategic and Philanthropic Initiatives. Please give Trish a huge round of applause. Now, I saw Donovan West. Donovan is here, who manages our roundtables. And I mentioned Donovan because in addition to her core duties and responsibilities, Trish will now take on the job of overseeing all of our mayor's business roundtable initiatives. And if you're here in the private sector, you know, when people talk about what wakes you up, in the middle of the night, I would always share the story that I was afraid to get a call about a crisis in a particular industry in the middle of the night. And I said to my team, contact the leaders in this industry. And then we had to go flailing, trying to find out who they were. So rather than do that, we put together mayors' business roundtables, bringing industry leaders together for ongoing communications and interactions with the city of Philadelphia and relationships. That effort is led by Donovan West. That will now be in Tricia's portfolio. And she will also lead our engagement and interactions with the Philadelphia City Fund. Now, I just want to give a little bit of context here. MDO Thiel, what was the fund, Chief Deputy Mayor Vanessa Garrett Harley during the strike, not the strike, the plane crash? People wanted to know, the one, so when we had the plane crash, immediately people wanted to know what could they do to help us. And the first thing I learned was that fraud was real. We had so many different entities saying that they were creating, what are those things called? GoFundMe efforts. And we said, no, well, we have to make sure that there's a trusted vehicle. And that is when we employed the use of the Philadelphia City Fund. It is an anchor that can assist the city, independent, but an anchor that can assist the city in organizing philanthropic efforts. It is the entity, Philadelphia, that we will use when we develop the open vehicle to contribute to efforts to acquire and preserve the Joe Frazier Gymnasium at Broad and Glenwood. So I want you to, when you talk about how important the Philadelphia City Fund is, we want you to know about that. So a special thank you to the team who runs it, led by Jody Greenblatt. Thank you, Jody. Now, Trish, like Renee, has a nerve to think that she deserves to have a vacation and is traveling today but she's traveling, she's still working, to a conference that's in connection with the work that she does. So she could not be here with us today, and we are grateful for all of her ongoing work for the city. So if you're watching somewhere, Trish Wellenbach, know that we appreciate you. Give her another round of applause. One more leadership announcement to make today. When I was sworn in as mayor in 2024, one of the first policy changes that I implemented was to split up L&I. You'll remember all of those historic recommendations, and I made this reform based on recommendations from a committee inspired by, and this is a perfect example of the administration and the legislative branch working together. My decision making was based on recommendations from a committee inspired by Councilmember Mike Driscoll's work, along with that of experts, labor leaders, and community leaders who agreed that L&I's critical work would be better served by two focused divisions. And that is when we created an L&I quality of life division that was focused on many of the different kinds of public nuisances and quality of life issues that you heard. Now Managing Director Carlton Williams affirmed that we heard from residents this weekend, and those are issues that Philadelphians want to have dealt with on a daily basis. Now that quality of life section of L&I is run by a lady who we were also grateful that she said yes, and she is still with us. That is Commissioner Bridget Collins Greenwald, and we love you, Commish Bridge. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. We also created the L&I side that is focused on inspection, safety, and compliance, all with a very clear mission: keeping Philadelphia's buildings safe and up to code. And so now leading that work is a tested, experienced L&I veteran with more than 28 years of service, who has risen through the ranks, and he knows this department inside and out. So he's prepared to lead on, or was prepared to lead as soon as we picked up the phone and called and asked, and he said yes. He has been, and he knows, he was a construction inspector, a plans examiner, district supervisor, chief of the commercial fire unit, director of operations, deputy commissioner. He's held every job. And now I want you you to know he is the Commissioner of L&I Inspection, Safety, and Compliance, and that is Ralph DiPietro. Thank you, Commish. Now, before I ask Commissioner DiPietro to the podium to speak, I want to note just a few other achievements. And again, very much, the way you heard me reference this a little earlier, I want you to know this about him, because your preparedness is what matters, that we won't want people to ever forget. That Ralph previously served as the Commissioner of L&I for a 3-year period of time, late 2020 to 2023, and that was following the retirement of former Commissioner David Perry. Then Commissioner DiPietro, he won the Joan Markman Integrity Award in 2018. Now, for those of you who are at home, the Markman Award, it recognizes an individual who demonstrates a commitment to integrity, to diligence, and transparency on behalf of the city of Philadelphia. He was the first city employee to achieve, and I didn't know what this meant. Joe Grace had to tell me what this meant. He was the first city employee to achieve Master Code Professional status from the International Code Council in 2006. They were referred to it as the MCP designation. And the MCP designation, it is the highest level of certification for an individual in the field of code enforcement. With that being said, I want you all to welcome our Commissioner DiPietro.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. And just want to say, imagine my surprise when I realized this wasn't all for me. But I'm happy to be here nonetheless. And let me just say thank you, Mayor Parker, for the opportunity to continue serving the people of Philadelphia as Commissioner of Inspection, Safety, and Compliance, Department of Licenses and Inspection. And I accept this appointment knowing that it comes with significant responsibility. And throughout my career, I've seen firsthand the dedication and professionalism of the men and women of L&I every day. Our inspectors, engineers, plans examiners, supervisors, support staff work to protect public safety while helping residents and businesses navigate the permitting and regulatory process. They are public servants who deserve our appreciation and support. As Commissioner...
That's right.
Thank you.
That's powerful.
As Commissioner, my priorities are straightforward. We'll continue to strengthen public safety, improve customer service, and ensure that our decisions are guided by professionalism, integrity, and fairness. We will continue modernizing our operation, embracing technology, and finding better ways to serve the public while holding ourselves accountable to the highest ethical standards. Philadelphia is a city of neighborhoods, businesses, builders, and homeowners who depend on us to do our jobs well. Our responsibility is to enforce the law consistently, protect the public, and help create a city where people can live, work, and invest with confidence. Mayor Parker has proudly said that she's a praying mayor. And in that same spirit, I ask for your prayers for the men and women of licenses and inspection, both quality of life and inspection, safety, and compliance. Pray that they can carry out their important public safety mission with wisdom, dignity, integrity, and compassion. Every day they make difficult decisions that protect lives, neighborhoods, and businesses. Pray for the courage to do what is right and the humility to remember behind every inspection, permit, or license are people and communities who deserve protection and respect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Working together again. Now I can say in closing, listen, the people of Philadelphia deserve a government that is responsive, accountable, transparent, and quite frankly, relentlessly focused on delivering results. And every appointment that I have made today, I want you to know it is guided by one simple question. Will this help us better serve the people of Philadelphia? I believe today's announcements answered the question with a resounding yes. And I am grateful to those of you who have served with distinction. And I am excited to welcome this next generation of leadership as we continue working to build a safer, cleaner, and greener Philadelphia with access to economic opportunity for all. I want to thank you all, and I want you to make sure that you're willing to stay because we have some photos we have to take. But I now have to make sure that I do the most exciting part of all of these press conferences, that is take questions. And so we want to make sure that we do that. And we want to start with, yes, sir. So what I will tell you that what I'm really excited here, I'm excited about the warm handoff. We will not give you a specific schedule about when. I will tell you within the next 4 to 6 weeks, you will begin to see a transition here in the city of Philadelphia. I'm excited about where we are, and we'll be able to talk about what this will specifically mean, because I've had several people, Director Williams, who have said, well, you know, tell us about the who, MDO Thiel, from, you know this from being fire commissioner and MBO, who are the people who are part of the executive team? That is not what we are prepared to affirm today, but there will be a warm handoff in between the next 4 to 6 weeks. We will see that transition, you know, completely occur, but it's a warm handoff, and no one has to start from scratch here. But I don't have a specific timeline that I'm willing to publicly say that by this date and time, MDO Thiel, you know, he will be gone. The one thing I will tell you, Philadelphia, is I have said to Managing Director Thiel now, you know, I know you will no longer be an employee with the city of Philadelphia, but you know, you are still in favorites and on speed dial, and I'm still going to count on you. And I thank you, MDO, for affirming. The answer is yes. 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 I'm just going to be general. You're going to answer. I'm going to ask Tiffany Thurman, my chief of staff, to come and respond to that.
So thank you so much for that question. Regarding the ICE out trainings, we have completed the first phase of all of the trainings, and we have meetings coming up this week to ensure the second phase is completed. It's all been pre-planned. All of the trainings will be complete before the current solicitor, Garcia, before her tenure ends. And remind me of the other previous question. Oh, so during. So thank you for that question. During the next 4 to 6 weeks, both the current managing director Thiel, and our incoming managing director, Carlton Williams, will work together with our chief human relations officer, of course, with the mayor, myself, chief deputy mayor, Garrett Harley, as well as our CAO, Camille Duchesset, to work on and look at the current structure and make any refinements that may or may not be needed. And so that new organizational structure, there will be some changes that will be made. We will notify and, of course, share it with our senior leadership first, our cabinet members, and then we will make it public. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. That was both fair. Thank you for those questions from a process perspective. Yes, Anna? One, I want you to know that no, we have not made an announcement public yet, but this is what I do want you to know. I am super excited about the breadth and the depth of talent that we have here in the city of Philadelphia. Remember, when we arrive in January 2024, there is no such thing as a clean and green cabinet here in the city of Philadelphia. Carlton Williams, Director Williams, he built from the ground up what doesn't exist. And I think out of that table, how many people were on your cabinet?
42 people was on the cabinet, yes.
42 people who don't always agree on a whole lot of stuff, but he was able to put it together. So who the people will, or who the person will be, or the team will be, I don't think any of that has been publicly affirmed, you know, and we will, Anna, we will stand up, because that's just, let me tell you why that's important to me. There are two people when I go out, I don't care where I am in the city, and actually I don't care where I'm traveling in the country. There are two things in particular, well, three things that people ask me about. I don't care what you hear, you know, using technical vehicles. I'm talking about on the ground when I'm talking to Philadelphians and business owners and stakeholders and people from outside of our city who are looking in. There are three things that people talk to me about. Everyone's familiar with our record low levels of gun violence and homicides and violent crime. I mean, some that haven't been seen since the 60s. And that is when they usually try to, you know, say, yeah, we heard about that commissioner of yours. And then the Philadelphia comes out. I'm like, yeah, but why are you asking me about my commissioner? Like, you know, so no, and they know about our holistic strategy of prevention, intervention.